All right, everyone, this is why I always say to dig to the bottom of the boxes, because you might just find a gold mine down there, and that's exactly what we have right here. Look at this jackpot find. All right, so just got here to the flea market on another weekend, and I was told that in here is a box of books for $50. So we will take the lid off and take a peek inside. And if you look right here, we have a nice old book on Christopher Columbus. And this book dates back to 1890. I saw someone put this up for an auction once, and it sold for $35. However, you know, this is something I would not put up for auction. I would just put a buy it now price on it and put it up for higher. And we'll see what happens with this. There's not another one that's currently on the market. Now, I think I could just pick this book out and put it here in my box and just get that one, because the rest of the ones we see here are the works of Honoré de Balzac, but the problem is it's not a complete set, and that's what I look for. And there's so many volumes to make a complete set. It's crazy. So this here is number 1, and it skips around. These are not in order, but it doesn't have number 2, and there's just so many that you should have. So because of that, I'm gonna pass on these. These are early 1900s, but I'd be more comfortable picking these up if it was a complete set, or if there were a lot of mostly consecutive issues, particularly early on. So we're just gonna stick with this one and leave these for someone else. All right, well, there are lots of boxes with books in them that I am going to be digging through, and I was digging through this one and came across this interesting book called No Surrender, My 30-Year War by Hiro Onoda. This is an interesting book. It should go for about $30 to $35, nice vintage hardcover. This book is about a Japanese soldier who continued to fight for almost 30 years after World War II. He was a holdout and engaged in a lot of guerrilla warfare. So he's a topic of much interest for military enthusiasts. And so the cover is pretty cool too. It really stands out. And a military collector is going to love something like this. So we're going to pick this one up and hopefully flip it for the 30 to 35. All right, so looking over in this box here, if we open this flap, we have a really cool book. Look at this cover, 1,000 Miles Up the Nile by Amelia Edwards, illustrated. Look at that binding too. That looks so cool. It's gonna look amazing on a bookshelf. And this book comes from 1890. 1890. The binding is strong, and this book is illustrated, so you can see here some nice illustrations, and there's no staining, at least no significant staining inside. The pages are nice and clean. Nothing is detached. This book is currently on eBay for $80 with 14 watchers. It's a different color cover, but it's the same year. And there's another one that had sold previously, and this is from 1891, so different cover, but sold for $95. So this is definitely going to sell. This is a nice book to pick up here. Really cool. Just wanted to give you a sense of what it looks like here. And while the inside is cool, this is really, I think, just the most amazing part right here. Look how amazing, incredible. I was gonna make up a new word like "incredible," but yeah, we're gonna pick this one up. Ooh, now check this out, folks. And I think we have a little gold mine inside of here. So look at this. This is a nice old Syracuse directory from 1922 to 1923. And I'll show you why I say gold mine in a moment, but you may have noticed if you saw the box. But look here. There's a nice pull-out map that's attached to this, and people use these for historical research. So there's lots of information here on old streets, people who lived in the area back in the day. But what a lot of people really love to look at too are the old ads in the back. Some of the pages are colored, as you can see here. So people really like to look at these, old advertising listings to see what the businesses looked like back then. Look at that. Look how cool this is. This is really, really fascinating. So not only do we have this one, and I would say this would sell for at least $50, just off the top of my head. Look over here. I'm gonna put that in the box, but look here. Did you see what I saw? Underneath here, look at this. There's another one. I don't even know what year it is. 1920. So we have 1920. Take a quick peek in the back here. I just like to see some of the old ads. If you're from this area, and I know I have a lot of fans, people who are subscribed to the channel who are from the Syracuse area, some of whom have moved out, but you like to see things like this. There's even some old photos inside too. So how cool is that? So we have that. So we're gonna add that here. And then, look at this. There's another one. Is there even another one back there? I don't know. There's definitely this one here. This is 1924. So, ooh, look at this one. This has tabbed indexes right here. See, right on the side there? Just like you see in the dictionaries. So it just makes it easier to thumb through. That's really neat. Let's check out the advertising in the back again. So this is going to be a great pickup. I gotta figure out if I want to list these individually or as a lot. I'm not sure. You'll find out. Oh, look at that. The Hotel Syracuse. This is really cool because the Hotel Syracuse was just this really big, famous hotel in Syracuse, obviously by the name, for the longest time. And then it went out of business basically, and it just sat dormant for a very long time. And then in recent years, they actually reinvested into it and brought it back to life, and now it's a vibrant hotel in downtown Syracuse. So like things like this are just really neat for New York history. So yeah, you're gonna need someone who's either from the area or someone who's doing historical research to pick this book up. So that doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily sell fast, but it definitely will sell at some point. So we're going to grab that, and then we got to see what we've got over here. I don't know if this is a directory or not, because it doesn't. What is this? No, this is not a Syracuse directory. Okay, so I think we got all the directories out of there. Yeah, we did. So we got 1, 2, and 3. I'm very happy with that pick. All right, so if you find the idea of sorting through boxes of books like this pretty overwhelming, especially when you have this many, one of the things that could be really helpful is to have a general rule of thumb of certain things to look for, because that really helps you hone in on things. And this is a good example of it right here. And it relates to something I showed earlier. So look at these two books. What do you see in common between them? Not the green color, although that is a commonality, but you see here how the font color is gold, and then you also have an image on the front cover and on the binding as well. That is something that adds collectability to the book, and it's usually a sign that has some value. So this book here, The Adventures of Harry Rochester, A Story of the Days of Marlborough and Eugene. This one is from the early 1900s. I think it's 19, 05, yeah, 1905. And it's illustrated inside. This one should sell for about $30 to $35. So, you know, it's not worth a fortune in and of itself, but, you know, these things start adding up together when you get a nice bulk deal, you know, getting a lot of bucks. So just wanted to pass that on, give you a little tip to narrow things down in the search. All right, so I just picked up all 7 books for a total of $40. So that comes out to about $5.70 a book. That's a little bit more than I normally like to pay per book, but when you factor in that a lot of these books are antique books and they're historical books, it's worth it, because just this one here is going to bring me well into profit on this pickup. So yeah, that's why I decided to go for it for $40, and plus it maintains a good relationship with the dealer who I got this from, who's given me so many incredible deals in the past. So it all works out in the end when you have those strong business to business relationships.
All right, so earlier today I saw this and I was debating whether or not I should pick this up. She is very glamorous. You know, has a little signature on the bottom. I can't tell if it's an original signature or not. There's some slight staining on the bottom of it as well, but overall it looks nice. It's definitely vintage. You can see it's in this vintage frame, and it was framed at a vintage store in Syracuse, New York. So the reason I passed on it originally is I wanted $20 for it, but now I just talked to the guy, he wants $10 for it. So I think for $10 it's worth picking up. So we'll snag it for the 10. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you have grabbed this for 10 bucks? All right, so I came back over to this same booth that I showed earlier that had all of the books, and as you can see, they took a lot of them out of the boxes and put them out on the table. So I was going through them and I came across this one, which is interesting. You see here it says AGA. That's the American Gas Accumulator Company. And if you look inside, this has exactly what I've shown many times on this channel, where you have books with these old diagrams and it has to do with something mechanically related. People absolutely love these. Now, this is not something that has come on the market recently, so it's difficult to come up with an exact comp for this. This book dates, and here you see, by the way, there's some essentially like catalog items as well over here too, with lots of nice illustrations. So people like this for research as well. This comes from 1947, really cool book. There is a book that, it's like an instruction book that was put out through the AGA, and that one sold for $45, so this one should sell for at least $50, and that's cool. It's got a title on the back of the cover as well, so we're gonna grab this one. All right, so I picked this one up for $3 and sold it in less than 12 hours for $50. So it just goes to show, again, how much people love these old catalogs with these cool diagrams and pictures inside of them. Now, I have an update, a really good update on the 1,000 Miles in the Nile book that I got. So I was able to do some more in-depth research on Terapeak, and I found that this green cover is much harder to find, so it's a supply and demand issue that helps to raise the value of it. So I found completed solds of the green cover for between $155 and $165 with the shipping. So I put it up for $170, and it already has 2 watchers in about 12 hours. So you know, we'll see what happens with it, and I'll keep you posted. Now, another thing to point out is that this book is, again, by Amelia B. Edwards, and she's pretty famous. So in this book, she details her exploration on the Nile River, and she helped to basically start this whole area called Egyptology. So that's actually a good keyword to use. And if you actually search for it, you'll find a bunch of items that are pretty desirable, books, text, things like that, using that keyword. So anything related to ancient Egypt, there's a whole big contingent of people that are interested in that. And so even if it's not just this book, but another, vintage book about Egypt or the Nile River, something like that, you'll look into picking it up. It might have some good value. And also keep the name Amelia B. Edwards in mind, because again, she is very well known. They've documented her in different forms of media and stuff, portraying her. So she wrote other books too, so just be on the lookout for the name, because people are looking for her stuff. All right, now before we head back to the flea market on a second day, where I am going to pick the estate from a urologist, and wait until you see some of the stuff that I find in there that everybody passed up, and you need to know about this stuff when you are out picking. I am going to give you a little update on some of the sales that I made from the prior video. And you saw all the Star Wars sales that were made in that one. Well, since then, I've made a bunch more, and here they are. All right, everyone, we are back at the flea market, and once again, we have a lot of books to look through, and this is something I came across pretty quickly, and I've mentioned about these types of books before, but this is a medical book, and it has to do with pathology. You can see here how it talks about malformations and lesions. People like to look through these books. These, when I say these, you can see it's a 2-volume set, so it's helpful if you have both volumes, and we do right here. Now, since it's related to urology, you're going to have a lot of graphics inside of here that I can't really show you because they're inappropriate, but this is an example of what some things look like, under an endoscope. But people like to look through these books to see the pathology images. There's lots of helpful tables and figures and charts in these types of books, but really it's the imagery that people like to see. There's drawings, diagrams, but there are also pictures in these books as well, beyond the endoscope ones. So because of that, I'm going to pick up these 2 books. I've historically done very well with any type of pathology book. I don't see any on the market right now. I'll do a little bit more research on it, and I'll show you what I ultimately priced them at. But these are 2 nice pickups to start off this week at the flea market. This is an example of what I was talking about. Here you can see there's a picture of a kidney with a tumor inside of it. And these are the types of things that people who are into medical literature like to look through. This is a picture here. I'll keep it far away. There's no nudity technically shown in it, but it's another example of a vintage picture that's included inside a book like this. And here's some more examples of pathology. So just lots of different examples of stuff, and just showing you why I picked this stuff up. All right, and look what we have here up top, right nearby. A nice old appearing book, a nice old appearing spine, and it's related. Diseases of the genitourinary organs. You could see why the average person would pass by a book like this, because it doesn't sound too interesting to the average person. But you're not catering to the average person with this. You're catering to someone who has specialized interest in this. And it turns out this book dates back to 1911. It does have some, interesting pictures in here, interesting diagrams once again. And in addition to the black and white images, there also are some color images inside some of these old books as well, believe it or not, even though it's back to 1911. There you go. You can see they call these plates, they're color plates that they put inside of the book. So they're special inserts. So I actually had to refilm a section right here because when I was flipping through, I came across a part that is not safe for YouTube, which is another reason some people like to pick up books like this. Actually, someone just came over to me and said that he likes to pick up books like this for a relative who's a doctor. So you could see here, this dates back to 1911. So we're gonna grab this one as well. And then that person who saw me flipping through that book said, hey, you might be interested in this book. So he picked it up from somewhere else. And so today is the day related to going number one. It looks like the secretion of the urine. I haven't looked this one up, so let me check it out and see if this one might be of value. Yeah, so it turns out this one is really not worth much, and it actually brings up a good point because you could see here, this book is about function, which is what physiology means. The other books I was mentioning are about pathology, which is about when things go wrong. So, just like YouTube, in the medical field, people like the drama more than they like the non-drama. So I guess that's the best way to put it. So yeah, we're gonna put this one down. Plus it has a little bit more damage to it than the other books. All right, here's another one down on the bottom, sort of related to what we were talking about. It's called Spermatoria, and I am going to leave it to your imagination to decide what this book is about, since this is a family channel. I won't get into it. But the good thing about this book is that it's very hard to find, and it comes from 1879. It doesn't include any pictures in it, but for a book this old and this specialized, it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna grab this one and see what we could do with it. I'm hoping I could at least get 50 bucks out of it. All right, so you've probably figured this out by now, but this section here is all came out from the estate of a doctor. And I can't believe this, but I just went down here to look, and look what we have. We have another 2-volume set of Young's Practice of Urology. So there's number 2. I'm hoping this has got to be number 1. Looks exactly like it down here. Yeah, and there's volume 1. So now we will add those to the ones we have here. So this is a urology gold mine. I never thought I'd say those words before, but there you have it. All right, and moving over to the next box, here we go again. Disorders of the, well, you could read it yourself. I don't want to get in trouble here on YouTube, but this book dates back to 1928, and we'll just add this to our box. All right, well, I'm about to pee in my pants with all of these different types of urology books that I keep finding. This one dates back to 1915. You see it says Practical Cystoscopy. Cystoscope is a medical device that's used to explore the bladder, as you can see here actually. And this is, again, another nice old book with lots of interesting diagrams and pictures, hoping not to come across anything too inappropriate here. And even we've got some more color pictures as well, as you can see. So yeah, I'm gonna get this one too. Looks like there's one loose color plate inside, but that's not the end of the world. I could just mention that in my listing. So yeah, lots of cool pictures of old medical devices and stuff. We're gonna grab this one as well. All right, and over here you can see is another book. This one is also associated with pathology. Some people might have passed it up because it says stone on it and just thought it was related to regular stones, but it's not. It's related to kidney stones, which is what calculus disease is. So renal calculi are its technical term for kidney stones. So And you can see there's a little giveaway too. It references disease of the urinary organs. So once again, you know, opening up inside, you're gonna have all sorts of interesting pictures related to pathology in the kidney system. So just flipping through it here just to give you a little bit of a sense. See if we could get, there we go. There's a nice picture right there. You know, there's people like those old black and white anatomical drawings and diagrams. All right, let's grab this. All right, here's another one over here. You know, I've talked about pathology, and you can see here the word path, psychopathia. So you might think of psychopath, but this has to do to psychopathic types of problems with regards to this word here. You can see it says sexualis. I probably won't get in trouble for saying that because it's a little fancier term, but this book comes from 1931, and this is an area of immense research. You could see it also talks about criminality. That would be a definite keyword you'd want to use in a listing because it will draw people to it. You got to be careful. If you just put that in there, you're going to get a more limited draw from a marketing perspective, so you have to think how to market it. So it's always important to look through the table of contents because that could help you out with that, but this gives you a sense of what it's about. This book doesn't matter that it's not designed to be one with pictures in it. This is designed to be more of a text to just talk about case studies of people who have deviance in this particular area. So we're gonna pick this up. All right, wait until you see the title of this book. This is one I could tell you I have not seen before. If you're just listening, you're gonna have to pause this one, but you can see we have the word worship in there. This is very interesting. My gosh, I've never seen something on phallic worship before. Are you kidding me? So, but that is the thing. For example, I went once to the ruins of Pompeii in Italy, and you could see on the walls, that was a pretty prominent theme back then. They had that in a lot of the pictures. Speaking of pictures, that's a pretty cool picture of these skeletons here. The cheapest I see this available online is like $75 to like $90 plus shipping and stuff. I haven't seen any sold for that high recently, but I haven't looked back the last 3 years. So we'll see. I'll show you what I listed for, but I can't pass this one up. This is crazy. All right, everyone, this is why I always say to dig to the bottom of the boxes because you might just find a gold mine down there, and that's exactly what we have right here. Look at this jackpot find. This title says abnormalities, hermaphroditism. You may have heard of hermaphrodites before. A hermaphrodite is someone with both male and female reproductive organs. This book dates back to 1937. Hard to find. It's a specialized book. One previously sold for $168, and the only one currently available is listed for $300. So I'm definitely going to do very well on this one. It's just sitting there right at the bottom of the box. I hope that I've given people some interest not only in books but also in specialized types of medical books. This is just a crazy day. I can't believe this estate find here at the flea market. And by the way, there's no way that I could show you the pictures inside this book because they are very graphic, but that's one of the reasons that people want to pick up books like this. All right, another example of how it pays to dig. You can see that there are some records on top, and you might think based on the shape of this crate here that all that's in here are records, but when I lifted this up, what I found inside is a whole big lot of early bird magazines, and you can see here this is dated from 1971, and these are magazines that were put out related to Ford, which, as you know, is one of my favorite companies. And there's a whole bunch of them here, nice and vintage, early 70s Ford Thunderbirds. There's just a ton of them in here. Now, they're not all that old. Like, some of these are more modern. So you can see here we have ones from the 2000s as well. But let's take a look. I know some of you car enthusiasts are going to really like to see these ones from the 70s. Look at this. So in a big lot like this, these could sell for you know, definitely at least $100. Now, another dealer was standing right behind me who wanted to get all of these, so I claimed them and I got them just in the nick of time. But I don't know what the price is on it, so that I've got to figure out. But there's definitely a lot of them here. Let's see if we can figure out a price. How much for the box of magazines?
25 for the whole thing.
Okay, 20. You heard it. $25 for the whole crate. Oh, 100% gonna get that. That's such a good deal. I can't even believe that. Oh my God, you heard it. I'm telling you. Sometimes I tell you these prices I get things for, and you know, sometimes I don't record it. So, but that's a perfect example. You heard it right from the horse's mouth there. $25 for the entire case or crate. Wow. All right, so the grand total for everything you saw me pick up today came to $80. So that's $25 for all of the early bird magazines, and that's $55 for 12 books. So that works out to $4.50 a book, which I'm fine with given the subject matter that's here and the value that I've assessed onto these. Special shout out to Heather, who came up to me here at the flea market. She's from 518 Treasures on eBay, I believe. And she told me that she watches the videos and she started getting into reselling because of watching my channel. And that is always an honor to hear. And she loves it, and you could just tell the joy that she has about it. So to be able to help people like that is another bonus of the the YouTube channel, and I'm glad to hear things like that. So hope you're watching, Heather, and maybe I'll see you in the comment section. Well, this is a very interesting poster right here. You can see here it says Die Hard Arcade, Yippee-Ki-Yay. It's a Sega Saturn poster. Now, if you found this video game by itself, just a video game, that would sell for up to over $100. Yeah, anything Bruce Willis, Die Hard related is pretty popular. This poster is pretty rare. Now, unfortunately, it comes in a frame. I mean, it's fortunate and unfortunate. It's unfortunate because they'll probably ask more for it since it's in the frame, and I don't want it in the frame to sell it, but it's fortunate because it protects it. I'm wondering how much this costs, because this is really hard to find, and Bruce Willis Die Hard stuff tends to sell for good money. How much is the poster? 40? 40 bucks on it. So I'm completely speculating because I have absolutely no comps to go on, but I think I could get $100 out of this poster. So if I could get it for 30, I might be willing to do that. So let's see if I could get it for 30 bucks. Would you be able to go 30 on it? All right, $30 a deal. Good, let's grab it for 30. All right, as I've mentioned many times before, one of my favorite shows to watch is American Pickers, and if you watch the show, you know that Mike Wolf is really into motorcycles, and he picks up lots of car parts and stuff, but he talks about just how much of a big fan base there is out there for motorcycle type memorabilia. And this is an interesting old magazine called Digger for street bike enthusiasts. Now, this one dates back to 1975. You can see that here. You probably also noticed, if I bring it up close, it's volume 1, number 1. That does not come to market often. So volume 1, number 2 recently sold for $38. So volume 1 should sell for more than that. Not only that, there's more than that one in there. You could see here we've got volume 1, number 3. We've got one of the lovely lady biker girls on the cover. That always helps. And then we have number 5 as well. So we have 3 early issues of it. I don't see any more, but I'll dig through and see. But I'm definitely going to pick those 3 up as long as the price is right. All right, so I did look through the box. These 3 Digger magazines are the only Digger ones there. So I'm gonna pick those up. It turns out that the magazines are $5 a piece, a little bit less if you buy more. So even if I paid $15 just for this one, it would be worth it, but I am gonna get all 3, maybe for a little less than the 15 bucks. There are some other good magazines in here, like Custom Chopper, but since there's so many of them in there, even for a little bit of a reduced rate, at $5 a piece, and you know, again, maybe a little bit less. It's just not worth it in bulk. So that's why I'm passing those up, and I'm gonna go for these 3 as the better investment. All right, well, I got the 3 magazines for 10 bucks. So the lady also said that she's clearing out an estate right now that she purchased, and she's got a lot more paper items that she's going to be bringing in the future. So I'll be looking forward to that. That's one of the things that I was saying, that you know, one reason there's fewer estate sales is because people are literally buying out entire estates. They hold on to them and they piece it out at the flea market. So you know, that's why I'm finding estate sale items here on a regular basis. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, well, you know, if there's something Hooters related, that I'm gonna check it out. And, this is pretty interesting, the Hooters Wings gift set. This comes from 2012. It would be sold as a collector's item. I'm not sure how many people saw in the news this year, but Hooters filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in March of 2025. So who knows how much longer they are going to be around. If they go out of business, this would be worth even more. You can see the price here is $5. This is sold for $30 recently, but the cheapest available is $42 right now on the market. And that could be influenced by the Chapter 11 bankruptcy declaration. So you know, who knows what will happen with them, but I'm gonna pick this up for the $5. Includes the tray and stuff like this, and you know, there's no expiration date that you could see on here, but I'll still just say in the listing that this is not designed for consumption. It's being sold as a collector's item. All right, fast forward a bit in the future. I'm processing this at Primetime Treasure headquarters, getting it ready for listing. And when I went to the center of the magazine here, this is for that issue number 1. Look at this. We have a mini parts and accessories catalog. So I'm definitely going to take a picture of this, but also look at this. It opens up like that. Nothing's been written in. It's all intact. So I'll take one big picture like this as well. And that will be something that's very appealing to the buyer base for this, as well as, and this is for people new to the channel, for magazines and books, if there's a table of contents in it, which there usually is, take a picture of that, because that will also help sell it. Another thing to take a picture of for listings is if there's a centerfold pull-out poster like this. They have to be careful because sometimes the centerfolds in the biker magazines have pictures of nude women in them. So you don't want to get your listing taken down on eBay, but it's not even something you need to mention because the people who are looking for this type of magazine know that that's in there anywhere. So, you know, you could leave it out of the listing, not mention it, but you know, people will still know. All right, so fast forward into the future a bit with this book. I was processing it, and when I was looking inside, I'll show you a couple things. One is, and this is going to be part of it in a second, but it was in the context of this page right here, which you could see. This shows a picture of someone with a syphilis infection on the face. They actually showed the whole face back then. Then in the future, they used to black out the eyes sometimes, but they don't do this anymore just to not identify the person. But you can see here too, it's showing the infection in a child in the leg. But next to it, you could see there's an old advertisement, and this is for a medication called neoselvarsen, which was actually used to treat syphilis infections. And you could see here, it has a date of June 1906 on it. And so this is a 4-page brochure. I saw one of these brochures, not the exact one, but another one with this same medication that sold for $33. So that's why I always say, just to make sure you look through the books, because you never know what kind of thing someone has hidden inside that could be of potential value.
Oh, look who it is. It's Daisy. Hello. What are you doing down here today? You're normally on your perch. Are you upset at me that I didn't put you in the last video? I got a lot of complaints about that, and I was told I better make sure you get into this video. Now, Daisy, here's the thing. I got a lot of books today at the flea market that you really can't help me list because they're just not appropriate for your eyes. So I'm gonna have to list those myself, but that's okay. I'll find a way through it. She is such a good helper though, normally keeping me company and helping me get those listings up. Look at those little paws. I love, one of my favorite things about Daisy is the blend of the white colors with the brown. It looks so cute. Mrs. Primetime puts this little hairdo on her, so keeps her prim and proper. Oh, look at that. You like when I talk about your haircut, Daisy? Oh my gosh, you are so awesome. So yeah, let me know, everyone, what your favorite items were in this video. I have continuously heard from people commenting that they're learning more and more about how valuable books can be. Books is one of those tricky areas. You know, you have to get the right types of books because there's so many types of books out there that are just overproduced and not worth picking up. But, you know, today's video really showed how, you know, definitely some specialty books, especially in like the medical area, you know, you could really do well on them. But then again, even within that, you know, it really depends on the type of medical book. So really looking for those pathology ones can really help you out, especially if they're really old. Look at that. Look at that big yawn. All right, everyone, let me know what your favorite item was. Say hi to Daisy, of course, and we'll see you back in the next one. Take care.